you guys.
Okay, so let's begin, and I have the list with you, list shared by you for AP, and so we are just starting, and uh, in AP, for AP implementation, anything if you want to start implementing AP in your system. So first first thing you do is like we did in in case of purchasing, we go into products and we select account payables here, right? So like purchasing, we did here for purchasing, check this box, right? So similar to these modules, components start appearing in your system. So same thing we will do for payables, right? And that's it. Nothing much on that side. And there's some product options as well, but that are not much of use, that are for common options, which doesn't we need to bother about. So there's nothing much in installation options side which we do for implementing AP. But just one thing we need to do is check that account payables checkbox. Okay, and then we can begin the journey in AP side. And just let you know that like I told you in purchasing also, so we must have one GL unit before purchasing, right? Because general ledger is the final destination for each module. And so what we do generally, ideal practice is we do setup part for general ledger first. So we define general ledger view first, and then we go for other some module business unit. So we will discuss more about GL once we will go in that section. But on account payable side, we just did the installation option, checking that, and right, and then we can begin with our account payables. And so our next topic is our table sets. Okay, so table set is just like I told you in in earlier session is as well, like it is based on your table set ID, and table set ID is the same and one and the same thing as set ID. So why we use table set, Arush?
For reporting purpose, and for reporting purpose to organize, I guess, a country, and yep, and controlling the control tables. All right?
Right, control. Yeah, you are right. Definitely, the right answer is just to controlling using control tables. So basically, if any table, just in layman terms, if any tables, if you want to share, any table across business unit, you need to have a set ID key. That's it. That's a bit thumb rule for it. So any table you want to share across location, business unit, you need to put them with set ID as a key, higher level key. Otherwise, you can work along with business unit. Make sense? So table set, yeah.
Across a location and business unit and other chart field, or just location and business unit across the set ID?
See, any table, if you want to share across business unit, then you will add set ID key in that record. Suppose there is one table, okay, one table of vendor table you want to share across business units, then you will add set ID in it. That's it. That's anything, any rule, anything you want to share across business unit, you will add just one key, set ID. That's what we discussed earlier as well. So the idea is set ID. Why we use, there are two higher level key in PeopleSoft. One is set ID and one is business unit. So if if you want to limit one thing just to a business unit, you will add just business unit as the upper first key. And if you want to share it, then you will use set ID. Yeah. So set ID or table set. Right. So same thing we discussed in purchasing section. So table set ID and record group. I told you about the record group as well. That record group are nothing but just a group of records, tables, which are functionally related. So all the record of which are related to purchasing are contained in purchasing record group. All the groups, all the tables which are part of account payables, they are put into record group of account payables, right? So where was the navigation for that?
Set up supply chain and common definition, I think.
Yes, correct. Then where I need to go?
Let me sorry. Business request configure. I'm not sure what would be what was the next step after common definition.
So it should be under common definition.
Oh, chart field, design chart field, maybe.
No, design chart field is for different purpose. Let me show you design chart field first. Yeah, so chart field is basically for your chart feeds. What are the chart feeds for your system? There for your system. So here you give your set ID. Suppose I give set ID here as. So you are aware, right? Set ID and table set ID. I told you they are one and the same thing.
I do remember you said that.
Okay. Okay. Yes.
Yeah.
So I select one set ID here. Maybe US001 is the one with value, some value, right?
So account is a chart field.
Sorry. Yes, account is a chart field.
So if I want to define a new chart.
Yes. See, I am defining a new chart field and it's giving me option of available chart fields. So there are 10 chart fields which are available, and it's asking me what chart field you want to add. So I will add account.
Sure.
Okay. And you can put anything here.
Okay, so this test is the name of this new chart field. Okay.
Right. Generally, we give here some numbers. You have seen account as a number 2001, 1002, something like that, right?
Okay. Last time we didn't put any attribute value, so that so attribute value could be 1, 2, 3, 4, 2. Yes. Or?
Yes. It could be anything to distinguish it. What is the account value actually? So you give account in purchasing accounting distribution line, right? You put some number there. So that is that number.
Okay. And it could be more than one number here.
More than one numbers?
Yeah, it's a chart field attribute value, and it could be more than one value for one same account. More than one value, because you see the plus sign next to it. It's a
Yes. That is for different purpose. That is not for this thing. That is for different purpose. now you just think about where you just gave me you just think that there are different chart feed available. It could be account, it could be department, it could be anything, and to enter that value you need to yes, you need to come here, and to assign value you need to come in chart feed section, chart feed value, and there you will give chart feed account or department specific value. Now the thing is chart feed is something we will talk about little later. But just before the chart feed, we just discuss a few things, like we discussed installation option, we discussed about table set and record group, which we discussed in purchasing as well. So what other things is required just to kick off in in our account payables modules, right? So first thing we did was installation option, and select the account payables there. Then what we did, then we go and created general ledger definition should be there already. So there should be a GL business unit. Okay. Then what is required is the next step would be your user preferences. Okay, so account payable is eventually is being used by your end users. So why we do user preferences in any system, be it in account payables, be it in purchasing? What's the purpose of it? Why we did it in procurement?
I thought in procurement. I thought we did business unit after. I don't remember we did. I guess I don't remember if we did user preference. Is it user preference is the way it should look like, or specific?
See, user preference. Okay. Yes, they are specific to user. I guess we discussed about it when we discussed about the requester setup and buyer setup.
Yes,
remember that?
Yes, we did requester.
So when we do the requester setup, when we do requester setup in case of requisition, when we do buyer setup in case of buyer setup, sorry, in case of purchase order, right? So post that we need to do user preferences as well for that requester and that buyer. So in case of see what we discussed here. So you give any employee ID here. Currently it is BP1. Okay. Now, like I told you in that scenario, here we give default business unit. What will happen whenever it open any page which has such such page key field as business unit, then this business unit will appear. You know, right?
For this VP1. You're
yes.
saying always the default would be this business unit.
And when we click on add a new value, this value will appear.
Okay. Very good.
Okay, and then that is the set ID for it here. So all the business unit which are all the vendor information, all the customer information, control data information which are linked and keyed with this are going to appear in the lookups. Okay, and same way what we did in user preferences in procurement is like I told you, online ONL, when it will create a purchase order and requisition, then origin would be online. Department, if we want to fix it department, and then we can put here any department here, and that means when it will enter purchase order and requisition, then in distribution or in voucher, the department, if there is department key there available, then it will default with this department ID. Ship to location, we discussed about where we want our item to be shipped, then we can put it here, right? Buyer, So buyer is someone for who is buying the purchase order, who is responsible for the purchase. So that thing will appear here. Requester is same way like requisition we did, right? So both these things are there, and they are the default value. You can override it in your purchase order or requisition. So
if you
purchase order authorized. Yeah.
So yeah, I'm not, but I think we didn't do user preference before. Okay, so for this user, requester is if he wants to do any buying, the requester we put there is it's the person who do the requisition for him. Is that right?
Yes.
Okay, so if I put the same user ID, that means this person can be requester and buyer himself.
Yes, right. So in this case, what is happening is VP1 is requester and VP1 is the buyer. So that means if VP1 is not authorized to create requisition on someone else's behalf, that's the implication of it. If you will put your Arush ID here, then VP1 would be allowed to raise requisition or purchase order on the Ayush behalf.
Okay.
Yeah. And when we click on the purchase order authorization, then you can see order of action like approval action. So that means that purchase order that VP1 is allowed to approve it. VP1 is allowed to cancel, delete, close, reopen, can work on approved POs, can dispatch unapproved POs, full authorized for all buyer. When you click on that full authority for all buyer, it means that VP1 is authorized to create PO on each user. When he can create a purchase order on your behalf, on my behalf, on anyone who are in in user list. If you click on this checkbox, you have authority for each one. Or if you want to specifically give ID, then you can come and you can you can put it there. So that's the authorization is about. Similar to purchase order.
So if you in the last one when it was all, do you mean everyone is every buyer able to buy for him, not he can? Is that right? That's what you meant?
I am saying, see, this user preferences is for VP1. Everything is for VP1. That buyer one, the buyer and requester is for VP1. So purchase order authorization is for VP1. That means just use it as a subject, right? And that is predicate. So VP1 can create purchase order for all the buyers. That signifies yes. Okay. If you specifically put some user here, you can do plus, right? You don't want to give authorization for all. You will uncheck it, and you will separately select.
I did it. So I guess the part which I'm getting confused, I thought the buyers are the people who do the purchase order. So, or they like after requester do the requisition, the buyers, I thought they are the people who do the purchasing. Am I right or wrong? The buyer is the person who do the purchase order.
Right. Buyer are the one who do the purchase order. Correct.
Okay. But right now you just said this VP1 can purchase for buyers, or is it a
yes.
purchase? Or is it okay? VP1 can purchase for buyer, or every buyer can purchase for the VP1.
VP1 can VP1 when you will log in as a VP1, right? there is when you will log in as a VP1, there is a okay, let's do purchase order, new tab. See, business unit is US001. See, buyer is VP1, which we define there by default. But I can select anyone here. Why? Because, what's the reason?
Oh, because we choose all there. Okay.
Yes, requisition, purchase order authorization.
So that means any buyer can buy for him. Okay. Now,
Yes.
but I thought you said he can buy for any buyer, so that's why I got confused.
Right.
Okay. So any buyer can buy for him. Okay. Now that it makes sense. Okay. Good. Thank you.
Right? Okay. So similar to that, we have requester setup as well. Requisition, authorization, same fields you will find here. Okay. And so these were procurement part, and for
Can we go to all of this, or
to all links?
yeah, can I at least see them once?
Sorry.
Yeah, is it possible to look at all those options?
Here.
Yep. Okay. Very good. Okay.
So you can see there are available actions: approval, cancel, delete, and close, and reopen. So that means if that user is that VP1 is allowed to approve a requisition, okay, cancel requisition, delete a requisition, close a requisition, reopen a requisition, okay, can work upon approved requisition. What it means, suppose you raised a requisition and the requisition was approved also. Now, if it is approved, ideally what happened, you are not allowed to touch that if you uncheck this checkbox and save it. But if you check that and save it, that means even if it is approved, you can work upon it.
Okay.
And what action you are seeing here is for a specific requester here. So suppose if I put Rosanna here, Rosanna here, and okay, that means for and uncheck this box. So what does it mean? What do you think about now? Just tell me this setup is what this configuration signifies.
Is it Rosanna is going to be able to add, update, and cancel and delete, and have everything else VP1 has? Is it? I'm not sure. Yeah. Oh, Rosanna is a requester. Rosanna can request an add, update, and cancel and delete, and send it to VP1.
Arush, one sec. Just think about it. You are seeing the requested authorization. You are seeing the setup for VP1. VP1 is authorized to approve. VP1 is authorized to cancel. VP1 is authorized to this. So this configuration is for VP1. Requisition, requester, user authorization. Now this VP1 is authorized for Rosanna, and he can do these many actions for Rosanna. You're getting my point? When VP1 will log in here.
So I'm sorry, VP1 is able to do those actions for Rosanna, like do a requisition
Right.
for him? Okay,
Right.
so he's able to do okay, very good.
Okay, so what will happen when VP1 will access, right, suppose add a new PO, right? Now he will select, just cancel. It will select Rosanna from here, Rosanna, okay, that Rosanna Channing here, and save it. suppose he select buyer here for Rosanna and selected. VP1 is the user. But if we select only add, update and delete option, we did not select the close option. That means that Rosanna, for Rosanna, you are not able to close it. That signifies this. That's it. That's it. This is the information which we this configuration is telling us. So same way purchase authorization, we have requisition authorization. Just don't be puzzled. Just think about this user preferences is for VP1 user. So and this authorization is VP1. Everything is for VP1. VP1 is authorized for this buyer. VP1 is authorization for this requester. That's it. VP1 is everything is we are talking about here is for VP1. VP1 is authorized for this requester. That's it. Then you will never be confused. So far good? Good to go, Arush?
Yes.
Okay. Now just check the user preferences for part of our AP modules. So what we have so far discussed for purchasing user preferences. Now we will discuss the user preferences for AP, account payables. Right? So you can see that user preferences would be there on this page only. So first we will start with what? Supplier. We can do a lot of user preferences here. Let's select what we did, payable online. What could be the user preferences for account payable? Think about it. That is for contract. That is for purchase order. That is for supplier, means something related to supplier. That means vendor, not related to account payable. Rebate is something different thing, right? And receiver setup. These are different setups. And there is some setup for supplier processing authority. What it could be? Supplier are what? Supplier are our vendors. Okay, so supplier is needed for purchasing as well as for what? Supplier are necessary for procurement as well as for account payables. So if you want to purchase, so you remember we discussed about vendors or suppliers quite in quite details.
Yes.
Yes. So if I showed you the page for vendor general information, what information we gave there, we discussed about the item, purchasing attribute, item group and categories.
Yes.
Yes. So if you enter a vendor, new vendor, right, into the system, then you cannot use it directly, even if you give all the details, vendor address, vendor location, vendor city, street, every detail, but you and each user cannot enter. First of all, there are two things. Means one is authorized to enter vendor, and when you enter it, the other person is authorized to approve it. So if VP1 is, you can give all access to one. So in this case, VP1 is authorized to enter a vendor, VP1 is authorized to approve the vendor, VP1 is authorized to inactivate the vendor, and supplier audit as well. So this user is a super user. That's why. Otherwise, ideal scenario is one user. We have one vendor team who enter the details of vendor, and another team is the higher management team. They approve whether or not this vendor should be activated. We want to do business with, right? That's vendor setup, user preferences, which we do. Then there is a payable online vouchering that is related to account payables. Okay, so VP1, when it will create a voucher or something, anything in AP, by default origin will be your online, and copy match and close PO, that is matching, we will discuss in detail later. But I told you about matching is just the name signifies. I told you in account payables we have 4 types of matching. We will discuss in detail later. but like I told you that what we match basically, just in layman term, we will match the purchase order, we will match the receipt, which we create receipt yesterday. The same receipt we will match, means whatever item we ordered, the item we received, and the vendor invoice. Three things we generally match. Okay, so that's matching we do. And online voucher processing, do not check voucher amount, check voucher amount. This entry limit we can put here. So it means that if I put some entry here, 1000, some value here, that means VP1 is not allowed to enter any voucher with entry amount less than greater than 1000. So we are just putting one restriction for that user. If we if we do not want to have such a restriction, we will just say do not check voucher amount. Okay, and this is the action available post vouchers and manually scheduled for payment. That means that user is allowed for posting a voucher. So we will discuss what is posting. So just for now, just think about these are action available for VP1. Okay, so in ideal scenario, if, just you are seeing that one user is not able to post a voucher. So he will say, I am not able to post a voucher. So you will come in your user preferences and you will see whether or not this checkbox is checked or not, right? And there is one limit. Voucher style. Voucher style is nothing but type of voucher. So what type of voucher? When you add a system, you are aware of voucher, right, Harush?
Yes, voucher is like creating check to pay, I guess, the vendors or anyone else. Yes.
Yes, yes. Voucher can be. So what can be the scenario? Like where we can pay to our vendors as well, from where we bought some service or good, or what can be the other scenario of voucher?
Vouchers could be any type of payment. Through like our employers maybe too. Yes.
Yes. Why we will pay our employees through voucher? In what scenarios?
Maybe they had traveling and we want to pay for their expense.
Good, right, definitely, that's correct. That's one thing, and that's absolutely correct. When our in expense module we get we get our payment from our employer through voucher, account payable part. That's very much a right answer. And think about, can we have salary from vouchers?
Maybe, but I thought mostly they use account payroll for that, but HR payroll module.
Right, payable. They don't use account payable. That's the answer I was expecting from you, and that's correct up to some extent. But what happened? The contract employees. They are not enrolled in, yes, in most of the scenarios in companies like they have a system that those who are contract-based employees, they are not paid through payrolls because they are not full-fledged employees. They run payroll only for permanent employees, not for contract employees. For such employees, we do make payment through HRMS, through account payables. So this is a scenario you can face in your interview, you can face in your day-to-day transaction, that you are paying employees, you are creating voucher to pay and contract employee. Okay.
What is a journal voucher? Like, is it
Yes.
sourcing voucher to GL? That's what they mean by journal voucher?
Yeah, we will discuss about those when we will discuss about voucher creation. But just you ask, I will just give you little information about that, but so that you don't get messed up. Journal voucher are just like ordinary voucher, but it's why journal, because journal you create journal voucher just to make adjustment. What happens, suppose you raise one voucher, and after voucher they go to general ledger, and in general ledger what are the main thing created there is journal ID. So and after journal ID is created and posted, they go further to ledger. But what happens in year close and month end close, sometimes their TB does not match trial balance. So trial balance is something, whatever our income, our expenditures, our revenue, and our starting balance should be same. Means our starting balance plus our revenue, it should be equal to your end, whatever you have. Suppose I start with $1,000 as my capital, and I had in the beginning of my financial year, and I have earned $500 in that year, so my total income would be $1,500, right? But I will negate there the expenses which occurred throughout the year. So suppose expenses are $100. So that's we think so ideally I should, at the end of December, what amount I should have in my pocket is $1,400, right?
Yes.
So yes. So that's what we track in trial balance. Just to make some analogy, I just gave you that answer, and so that's we do in trial balance. That's very simple, in a very simple example. Ideally, it's not that simple. So what happens? Sometimes we are not able to figure out why we are now we know that 1,400 should be in our pocket. This is the output which we should have, but sometimes we are not able to locate the amount we have, and we are not able to where expense has gone, where the payables liability has gone. So general voucher is for that purpose only. It's like you are doing some adjustment. You are creating a voucher just to make your trial balance accurate. Suppose you are not able to, ideally you should have $1,400 at the end of year, but you are having only $1,300. You are not able to locate where is this $100 has gone. Okay, so what you will do, you will come into account payable and you will create a voucher for $100 or something like that. So journal voucher is just for adjusting the journal, adjusting the sum of your trial balance, and for some adjustment in which happen in journal GL side. So that purpose. So ideally you create voucher to make payment to your vendors or your contracting employees. But if you have some discrepancy in general ledger, then you come and create some voucher, general voucher, just to match your total match the total of your debit and credit in general ledger. So we will discuss more in detail about this in your subsequent sessions. Yes, but just this link told us that this VP1 is allowed to enter general voucher. That's it. Okay, so we discussed about the so far we discussed about the user preferences for purchasing, procurement, receipt requisition, and all these things. Now we will be discussing our next topic, which is and we discussed about the purchase account payable user preferences. Now we will discuss the locations. So location, I guess I told you, right? I'm just going by the index or the table content you shared with me for AP.
Okay.
Is that fine?
Yes, yes.
So, sir, so that we don't run out any topics, we don't miss any topics in the list.
Okay.
So, location, I guess we discussed, right? We go to, so just tell me what was the navigation for location?
Oh, I did not memorize them, but I think supply, if I should do that. Okay. Supply, set up
Just make a guess. It should be in common definition. Location should be there.
Okay.
You will find location here, right? So these were location. Do I need to rewind that thing, or you are fine?
I think, yeah, let's look at it 1 second, and then if there is a question I ask.
Okay.
Is this, okay, so is this anything different for AP here, or is it just an address? Okay, how about the location? That's it, okay, yeah.
That's just same, nothing different for AP side. Same location, because that is going to share.
Location detail?
Sorry?
Location detail, can you?
Yeah, location detail.